Now you know.
Now I'm really nervous. I guess I was here just a little over a year ago talking about wanting to start the Snack Pack for Kids program here in Dalhart. So just real briefly, if you weren't here at that particular meeting, it's a weekend backpack program that provides some healthy and kid-friendly snacks for kids that, for whatever reason, don't get to eat when they are not at school, whether that be financial or just a difficult home situation. Snack Pack for Kids fills that gap between Friday afternoon and Monday morning when they come back to school. So we did get started in Dalhart thanks to the support of the school district and various clubs and individuals and businesses within the Dalhart community. We started delivery about mid-September, pretty much about this time, and we started off with about 40 kids. We kind of had a slow start, we felt like, but that number immediately grew to about 80, and by the time we got to second semester in January, we were sending about, 91 bags to the elementary school, the DAC, and the Dalhart Intermediate School. And that stayed pretty consistent through the end of the school year. We maybe lost a few kids that moved away, but that was pretty much where we ended up as the school year closed. And it was very, very successful. We sent a survey out to the teachers and to the students. The student survey was mainly feedback for us as far as what they liked and what they didn't like, so we knew that the things that we were putting in the bags weren't wasted. And then the teacher survey asked more about, do you see this program as a benefit? Is it helping your kids? Can you tell a difference? And we had about 19 teachers participate in the survey, and that was only elementary school. We didn't send it to the intermediate school because they didn't have a whole lot of students, so we just sent it to the elementary school. About 19 teachers responded, and it was about 80% positive feedback. Felt like it was a good program, it was implemented well, and it was making a difference for those kids that they had on the program. We got a little bit of negative feedback, and that just helped us make some changes for this year. One of the comments was they didn't like that it was something that could be signed up for, so we just went back and did some education with the teachers to make sure that they knew to really look at the students as individuals and not send the permission form home with every single student in the classroom, but approach the students and the parents individually to explain the program. They also didn't like the fact that they felt like they couldn't add students throughout the school year, and because of the way that we organize our volunteers and pack, for example, you guys are helping us set up next week, and we'll pack for 4 weeks, and so during that time period it's difficult to add students because we have already done the work as far as putting everything together. And we just decided that this year we'll probably send about 5 extra each week so that they can add students, in that month period until we get ready and pack again. So I think we addressed a lot of the concerns. The survey feedback was really good. And as we begin this semester, we're going to do our first delivery next Friday. Financially we're in good shape. We have good volunteers. We have a great committee, which is kind of our base of volunteers to get the word out. We have lots of events upcoming for fundraising and food donations, and I've got people asking me what can we do. So I feel like we're in really good shape as far as what's going on and where we're headed. It's a great program. I'm so glad that the community of Dalhart stepped forward and supported it because I think it was definitely needed. I'm still a little bit amazed that we have that many kids in Dalhart that are in need, but I'm glad that we have a way to provide for them. So, does anybody have questions or?
When you first came to us, we as a club had some concerns about, for lack of a better word, enforcement. We were concerned about sending food home with children and then the children themselves not getting food. And we were also concerned about the criteria that would have to be met to determine that there was in fact a child in need, because that can become a little invasive to their privacy. And there's a sensitivity issue there. And I'm just wondering if you could maybe expand on that a little bit, tell us some more about that.
Yes, I'm glad you asked about that because that's another portion of the student survey. It asks about sharing, and pretty much across the board, that food gets shared. It's with siblings, so that's good news. I think it's not something that we're trying to provide for the kids and it's going to the adults in the family. It's shared with siblings. Now that may be older siblings, but they're still in the home and they still have a need, so that's good. That's good news from the survey, good feedback. And then as far as assessing the need, the school has told me that they have people calling in, first day of school, we need this, we want on this program, and so I've just really tried to educate the school, and Christy Prazilis is the counselor at the elementary school, and she has done a really good job just saying, the way that this program works, it's not a school program, it's a community program, and the way that it's set up to work is that it's teacher referral only. So now that doesn't mean that if someone calls and says, we really need this, or this, I know this family and they really need it, that they don't look into that a little bit more closely, but they really tried to keep it teacher referral. So it's not a perfect system, but that's what we're trying to do to keep that going.
What's like your oldest grade level that you serve with this program?
5th grade.
Okay.
Oh, and some exciting news, we are going to, because Dalhart is so fortunate to have a space to store and set up and pack, we are actually going to help text line, and then hopefully Hartley and Channing as well, but for sure text line. We're going to do everything for them except fundraise. We're going to let them do some of their own fundraising, and then they've got somebody that's going to come and pick up their snack packs, but they're going to be able to provide snack pack for kids at text line this year. So Stacy Larimore, she is their special education teacher and their counselor, and she's the wife of Gary Larimore, who is the text line superintendent. And she came to our last meeting and has all the information she needs to get them started in text line.
Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing next Wednesday?
Yes, you have a hard job because I was told this, and it's one of those things you don't really understand it until you experience it. That setup is actually the most difficult part of the program, and it is because we have these great volunteers that will come at 6 o'clock to pack, but they're youth groups. They just come and they don't have any knowledge. They're just manual labor, putting the stuff in and packing it up. So what the setup committee or the setup group does is they know that, for example, say we have 50 students on the program, we're getting ready for 4 weeks, so we're going to need to pack 200 snack packs. So they're going to pull out of the storeroom and count 50 fruit cups, 50 granola bars, 200 of each of those things, and make sure that we have enough. And what we try to do when we set up is make sure that a couple of things, maybe it's the first of the line and the end of the line, are counted exactly, so that when we run out, we know it's time to stop. So, once again, not a perfect system, because I've been in charge of setup before and have not counted well, but that's what we try to do. So setup is hard, because to get it ready for the packers, we open everything up and get it ready so they can just pull it out and pop it in the bag.
As far as the expansion goes, are we going to stick with just the 2 counties?
Yes, because Stratford actually started their own program right before or right after spring break last year. So, and Dumas started last year as well. So kind of in this area, we'll have this area pretty well covered.
Do you get support only locally, or do you get any support from Amarillo?
All the money that we raised in Dalhart, it goes for Dalhart kids. And we've received some donations from companies like Monsanto, who is not necessarily in Dalhart, but they're in this area. So I guess everything that we've received has some connection to Dalhart, but maybe is not right in Dalhart.
If someone wanted to make a donation or help and volunteer, how do they get in touch with you?
actually go on the Snack Pack for Kids website, and there is a Dalhart community tab, and my information is on there. And I think there's just a place on that website even for just a general comment or question, and that comes to me eventually. It goes through someone else, but they know that I'm in charge of Dalhart, and so it comes to me.
What are the kids saying that they like and don't like?
They didn't like the milk, which was disappointing because the milk was part of a big dairy partnership grant program where we didn't pay for the milk. We did. We paid for it, but then it was reimbursed through this grant program. And most schools, I think, ordered white milk because we felt like that was a more nutritious option. The chocolate was actually preferred to the white milk. It's shelf-stable milk, so if you don't drink it cold, it's not the greatest, and so I can understand that. We're still going to include the milk, and the dairy industry is going to try to get us something to put in the snack packs, some educational material about how good milk is for you, and making that a part of your diet is important. The most popular item was the beef stick. It's just like a Jack Link's. It's not hot or spicy, but that was the most popular item, and it's a pretty good item. It's fairly high in protein and low in fat. So they're actually working with Texas cattle feeders, and that involves this area in a big way, to do a similar grant type program where we purchase a larger beef stick, because it's a fairly expensive item, where we purchase that, and then that money is reimbursed to us through the grant program. So,
Sarah, you might go down the list of all the stuff that's included in the snack pack,
okay.
so that kind of get an idea, and then also about the food drive that we're doing for the month of September.
Okay. The snack pack includes juice, shelf-stable milk, a fruit cup, granola bar, a Pop-Tart, peanut butter crackers. Last year it was like an animal cracker, and this year they decided to switch over to a graham cracker, which is a whole grain versus just the animal cracker, which was not. The beef stick, a small, when we order it, it's called a Pop-Top protein, but it's like a little cup, individual serve, lasagna, Chef Boyardee, spaghetti, meatballs, something like that. Sunflower seeds, and I said peanut butter crackers, but once a month they take out the peanut butter and crackers and they replace it with a jar of peanut butter and a sleeve of saltines. And last year, Dalhart, this is not something that the whole snack pack program is able to do, but at your Rotary food drive, actually, you had a lady make a $100 cash donation, but she wanted it to go specifically for fresh fruit. And so we actually were able to include fresh fruit twice, and there's still money left on that gift card. I think we're going to try to do it again this year. $100 actually goes pretty far when you're talking about fresh fruit. So we were able to do that, which was kind of neat. And as Christine said, the month of September is I guess it's become our annual food drive. Take it to the bank, all the banks, and then Capital Farm Credit, which I don't think is exactly a bank, but they're participating, are collecting peanut butter, jars of peanut butter, the small jars, Pop-Tarts, and granola bars all month long, and we've got people going around and picking those up for us. And so it was really successful last year, and honestly, I wasn't sure if it would be. I didn't think people would remember, but they did, so we're doing it again.